hackers and the phishing, let's say, scams that are out there are very focused on the crypto world because there's a lot of money to be stolen there. And due to its nature, it's more anonymous. The existing cybersecurity solutions from the Web 2 world are not necessarily specifically protecting against these type of phishing and hacking attempts that are occurring. They obviously protect your internet connection, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that your crypto cannot be stolen. The speed of it is quite astonishing, so I would call it a high. We have now over 58,000 users, and that's grown since a few months. So that's pretty quick.
How many months to be exact?
We started it formally.
Okay, so welcome to another episode of the VPNRanks podcast. Today, we have a very special guest who is shaking up the cybersecurity and Web3 space with some groundbreaking innovations. If you've been keeping an eye on the tech world, you've probably heard the buzz about Shieldeum. But for those of you who might not be as familiar, we are diving deep into what makes Shieldeum so revolutionary. And who better to give us the inside scoop than the visionary leader behind it all. So let's get started. Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Okay,
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so my first question to you is, Shieldeum has been making waves for its innovative approach. Can you give our listeners an exciting overview of what Shieldeum is all about and why everyone in the tech world is talking about it?
Sure. Yeah, so we are a decentralized physical infrastructure network, which basically means that we have a lot of servers around the world that is operated on professional enterprise-graded locations that is owned by anybody. Anybody can own these nodes, and these nodes produce computing power, and this computing power is CPU and bandwidth on which security services, for example, can be run. So our VPN, and we call it EPN because it has some different things attached to it, but in its core, of course, it has VPN technology, runs completely on this network. Yeah.
So Shieldeum must have definitely started from an ambitious idea. Can you walk us through that aha moment when you knew this was the right path to take, especially considering the innovative use of the decentralized physical infrastructure network that you just talked about?
Yeah. So I think the first thing to realize is that the hackers and the phishing, let's say, scams that are out there are very focused on the crypto world because there's a lot of money to be stolen there. And due to its nature, it's more anonymous. So the crypto world is under constant attack. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that the existing cybersecurity solutions from the Web 2 world are not necessarily specifically protecting against these type of phishing and hacking attempts that are occurring. They obviously protect your internet connection, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that your crypto cannot be stolen. So there is a massive gap there, and real pain, because there's a lot of people that lose funds every day, and we wanted to do something about it. So that's where it stemmed from. And of course, there's a lot of players out there and the competition is massive. So using a decentralized physical infrastructure network allows us to be competitive and have a different go-to-market model, and therefore also a different way of how we can offer consumers an easy-to-use product that protects them better than what else is out there in the market for Web 2.
Perfect. Okay, so the next question is, every startup has its roller coaster moments. What has been the most thrilling high and the most challenging low for Shieldeum so far?
I mean, the adoption that we've seen and the speed of it is quite astonishing. So I would call it a high. We have now over 58,000 users, and that's grown since a few months. So that is pretty quick.
How many months to be exact?
We started it formally in April.
Okay.
Yes, it's like what, two months roughly. So yeah, that is, I mean, pretty quick. What's the low? I mean, in general, there's always technical difficulties and upgrades and things. So I would argue that sometimes it's hard managing all that. So and we have 13 devs, and it's sometimes it's hard when things don't work or when you have an issue to try to quickly solve it. Sometimes the speed can be difficult.
Definitely. Okay, so in a world where data breaches make headlines daily, how does Shieldeum's approach with features like Web3 antivirus and malicious smart contract avoidance redefine the game of cybersecurity?
Right. So imagine that you have all the traditional Web 2 protection, okay? And then on top of that, our encrypted private network protects you against malicious sites. And the way we do that is there's two primary ways. First of all, we have our own AI that scans the web. We feed it with brand names from crypto. So we try to find, similar to how Google Crawler works, we crawl the web and we find impersonating sites, fake lotteries, fake giveaways, airdrops, all kinds of impersonating sites. And then we verify them with our cybersecurity partners, and then if we determine that they are indeed malicious, we block them. So our users, what they notice is they just simply can't go to this site because it's blocked. Very similar to, you know, when you go to a website that does not have SSLs, like the HTTPS, you get this warning from the web browser telling you, are you certain you want to continue because this is unsafe? So something similar we provide as well for these malicious sites. Besides that, we are connected to the largest cybersecurity players in the industry. And whenever they find on-chain a malicious contract and they can find it and connect it to a web URL, it's then pushed through their API to our database. And then users are automatically protected from that domain. And just for context, these cybersecurity firms can usually find a malicious, the nature of a malicious smart contract after a minute or so after it being deployed. So pretty rapidly they find it, and then after that is pushed, and within a few minutes that new malicious actor is blocked, and people are protected from that website. And because we provide this in a very simple way to users, like they literally just have to turn on the VPN, they browse the web like they normally do, and we have tens of thousands of websites blocked for them, and they don't need to do anything. And if they do go to these type of sites, they will get significant warning, and you know, it will be pretty hard to then still get scammed because the whole site is blocked. Yeah.
That's very impressive. And SETI privacy is becoming a luxury these days. So how does Shieldeum ensure it's accessible and robust for the everyday internet user, especially with your EPN services?
Yeah, so in terms of privacy, we have two things that EPN provides, and one of them is significantly different from the Web 2 players. What's not different is we provide the same privacy and security that a typical VPN that everybody knows provides as well. So we have all the same, we use the same sort of technology as all the big players use. So I think that's important to note, like it's not, on that front, it's not new technology. However, what is new or what's different is that because we're a Web3 player, we do not require when you purchase our service, or when you hold our token in this case, to use the service, you do not need an email address to sign up for an account. You do not need a fiat transaction, so with your bank account in any shape or form. Now, if you are in a country which is repressive and let's say has outlawed a VPN service, then you certainly don't want your email address to be connected to buying like this service, because it's illegal. So I think from a privacy standpoint, just simply using your wallet and using that as your authenticator, which is completely anonymous, is a big step up in terms of privacy, in particular for people in countries where the government is repressive. And to be honest, that of course is also for those people, this type of services is a real game changer and really important.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, so your journey into cybersecurity must have some fascinating stories. Can you please share a personal experience that profoundly shaped your career and influenced the development of Shieldium's comprehensive cybersecurity ecosystem?
Yeah, so my personal motivation also indeed comes from some pain. So I have fallen victim to a well-sophisticated impersonator that pretended to be an influencer and had basically a lot of effort put into faking his entire portfolio and, let's say, what he does. And so we wanted to work with somebody in the crypto space for a project, and lost around $30,000 to this influencer. Yeah, which turned out to be completely fake and didn't deliver, etc., etc. And after searching the web, I eventually did find information that I could have known, and so of course, at the end of the day, I blame myself. But I did believe from that point onwards that something had to be done about these impersonators and these fakers, and yeah, it has to be done in an easy manner that is, is usable for your average Joe, because finding out these type of things, that everything is fake on Instagram, on YouTube, and all the views, subscribers, comments, everything is fake, or some of it is. And so trying to find that out can be quite a challenge. And so knowing which is an impersonator or not, once it's determined somebody's an impersonator, that person should be completely banned and blocked by the ecosystem. But that didn't exist. So I really felt like that was the key moment where I thought to myself, like this really needs to change. So that was a key driver. Yeah.
Alright. Leading a tech company is demanding, like you've already mentioned. What's your secret for staying motivated and inspired amid the chaos, particularly when working on cutting-edge solutions for Web3 and blockchain security?
Yeah, the thing is that you're doing it for a bigger goal, right? Like a lot of crypto, of course, is a lot of meme tokens and like a bunch of nonsense that doesn't really change anything, doesn't really provide people any value. But there's also a lot of things happening in the Web3 space that does change the game for a lot of people, and that fuels me. Like, I'll give you one example. When the coup happened in Myanmar, they killed Facebook. Basically, the military regime turned off Facebook. And in Myanmar, Facebook is a huge way for people to communicate and to be able to contact friends, family, loved ones, etc. So, the way to get that back, to take control back from when the government decides to turn something off, is to use a VPN, right? And so we have made an incremental change there with allowing people for free, by the way, to gain back control of their online tools, and we're able to make a difference there. So these type of things, that they fuel me to make a difference, and I think that at the end of the day, going back to your core principles of why you're doing it, and then actually making a change, doing something that otherwise would not have been possible. I think that's the main thing here, to drive motivation.
Nice. Okay, so the tech world is always looking ahead. What upcoming feature or development in Shieldium are you most excited about, and why? And could you please give us a sneak peek into that? Any upcoming partnership or integrations?
Sure. So I think in terms of the EPN, so the VPN side of it, what will be really cool is once the token is live, people can simply buy the token and hold the token. They don't need to spend it, and then they can use the service for free. I think that's a very big thing. We are also launching a what we call mini app in Telegram, so people can earn revenue from the overall DeepIn network, because the EPN is one product that we have. We have multiple products that does cost money and does make revenue. And so what's cool about it is that this mini app, all you have to do is have a Telegram account. You join the mini app, again, no cost. You click the button and you join, and then you can do certain activities inside that app and basically earn yield coming from our network. So if our network is used a lot, the people can earn tokens and money. And we will allocate $1 million from our revenue, giving that away as yield to people partaking in this mini app. So again, a huge opportunity for people to earn earn some tokens, some value, some money, and at the same time, the project will of course benefit because a lot of people will grow. Our goal is to have 2 million active users on a daily basis.
Thank you so much for sharing these insights with me. Now my last question to you is, what's a piece of advice you wish you had received earlier in your career? And how do you think that it would have changed your journey, particularly in the context of leading a groundbreaking project like Shieldeum?
Yeah, I think that so I didn't join or didn't start in crypto late necessarily, like it was 2018. But I did know about it before, and I didn't start the project back then, right? So it was I just knew about it, and I bought some crypto, etc., etc. But I wish somebody would have told me that when you see a big opportunity, when you see a big game changer in the world, like you have good ideas, you just need to act upon it. Don't sit on your ideas too long. I think that's the biggest thing, that where if you see an opportunity and you see a big need for something, then do something about it and stop making excuses for yourself and just do it. What's the worst that can happen, right? Like the worst that can happen is that it fails. As long as you didn't hurt anybody or not let people lose money, there's no real damage there. You might have lost some time, maybe a little bit of your own money, but at the end of the day, that's overcomable. So and it can be a massive. So I think that if we would have done this earlier, we would have already been bigger, and I would have already made a lot more impact. So I'm happy I'm doing it now. Don't get me wrong, but I wish I would have started earlier and stopped making excuses or I'm planning things or preparing things. Like we should have just started.
That's some nice advice. Thank you so much, Nick, for joining us today. I had a lovely time talking to you about Shieldeum. For now, we'll be saying goodbye. Thank you so much, viewers.